So over these last few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, JK Rowling has been in the news quite a bit, and as we know, this is all down to her taking a strong stand against woke culture and the issues it creates for women and children. She's really in the corner of facts over feelings, and it's got her in some trouble recently. Not so long ago, a woke activist actually revealed they had reported JK Rowling to the police over JK Rowling misgendering them, called a guy a he instead of a she, and as we know, that is just the biggest crime, right? Then Scotland introduced a new hate crime law that makes it easier for police to take legal action over anyone saying pretty much anything offensive, and JK Rowling basically said, "I dare you to arrest me over stating biological facts," which they didn't because I think they knew that people would have a huge issue over it. It would start a big domino effect, and could you just imagine if they actually did arrest JK Rowling? But now she has spoken out against the Harry Potter stars who called her out, stood against her for her views. They took the Hollywood stance on this madness. Now we have to head all the way back to 2020, so before we take a deep dive into history, if you could make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video, follow my socials down below in the description, and let's get into it. So on June 6th, 2020, JK Rowling retweeted an op-ed piece that discussed people who menstruate apparently taking issue with the fact that the story did not use the word women. People who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people, someone help me out. Wimben, Wimpound, Woomud, she wrote. So even back in 2020, woke activists were trying to remove the word women from this situation, from the equation, and replace it with people, because we're supposed to believe now men can also menstruate.
What?
The initial tweet garnered a lot of backlash, but the Harry Potter author did not relent and wrote about her views in more detail. If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth, she tweeted. Facts. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e. to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is a nonsense. She continued, I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. Not too sure she probably holds the same positions any longer with the stuff they have put her through over the years. But then on June 10th, 2020, Rowling published a lengthy post on her website and sent out a tweet that read TERF Wars. TERF is an acronym that stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist, and this just went into more details surrounding her position, what she thought on certain things, but all of this quickly made her public enemy number one to these woke emotional liberals, and it didn't take too long for the Harry Potter stars to come out and really stand against her on these views she had. On the same day, JK Rowling posted on her website, Emma Watson sent out these tweets saying trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are. I want my trans followers to know that I and so many other people around the world see you, respect you, and love you for who you are. Now to me, it's very strange Emma Watson would come out and say that because she's a strong feminist, yet she's okay with the idea of biological facts being eroded, which then affect women. Rupert Grint, who portrayed Ron Weasley, issued a statement in response to Rowling's essay as well. I firmly stand with the trans community and echo the sentiments expressed by many of my peers. Trans women are women, trans men are men, Grint said. Boy oh boy, we should all be entitled to live with love and without judgment. Also, Bonnie Wright, the actor who played the on-screen sister of Grint's Ron, Ginny Weasley, spoke out via Twitter. If Harry Potter was a source of love and belonging for you, that love is infinite and there to take without judgment or question. Trans women are women. I see you and love you, Bonnie wrote. But then we get to the boy who lived, Daniel Radcliffe himself. He ended up writing a piece for the Trevor Project, which is an LGBTQ charity, and he goes on to say, I realize that certain press outlets will probably want to paint this as infighting between JK Rowling and myself, but that is really not what this is about, nor is it what's important right now. While Joe is unquestionably responsible for the course my life has taken, as someone who has been honored to work with and continues to contribute to the Trevor Project for the last decade, and just as a human being, I feel compelled to say something at this moment. Transgender women are women, boy. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity and dignity of transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional healthcare associations who have far more expertise on this subject matter than either Joe or I. According to the Trevor Project, 78% of transgender and non-binary youth reported being the subject of discrimination due to their identity. Yeah, well, anything offends people these days, so that number is going to be inflated. It's clear that we need to do more to support transgender and non-binary people, not invalidate their identities and not not cause further harm. Now, I don't know what healthcare associations he was paying attention to at the time, but what he said there doesn't make any sense. It's just classic PR stuff. But unfortunately, Daniel Radcliffe, well, he's just as woke as they come. In April 2023, Daniel Radcliffe expresses his hesitation with the term ally in discussion with trans youth. The Harry Potter actor recently participated in a roundtable discussion with 6 trans and non-binary youth as part of the Trevor Project Sharing Space series. Daniel has been involved with the Trevor Project for years and was awarded the Trevor Hero Award in 2011. Yeah, so he seems heavily involved there with normalizing the idea of kids going down certain roads, changing their genders, but I think it's disgraceful. These actors who wouldn't be anywhere without J.K. Rowling. Let's be real now, if she didn't write those books, we probably wouldn't know about them. For them to just throw her underneath the bus so quickly, it's insane. It's weakness. No backbone, no loyalty, and just for an agenda, by the way, that is destructive to the heart, mind, and soul of reality. But we're now back in the present. I hope you enjoyed that trip down memory lane nonetheless, and J.K. Rowling has spoken out about these stars, and she says she will not forgive them for their stance on the trans debate. J.K. Rowling says she won't forgive Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson for their stance in the trans debate, and says they should apologize to traumatized detransitioners and vulnerable women, not her. J.K. Rowling has said she won't forgive Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson after slamming celebrities who cozied up to a movement intent on eroding women's hard-won rights. The multimillionaire author hit out at the stars who used their platforms to cheer on the transitioning of minors after the release of the long-awaited Cass report into gender treatment in the UK. The vocal women's rights campaigner said people who supported gender transitioning in children should apologize to traumatized detransitioners and vulnerable women reliant on single-sex spaces. Rowling has been vocal in her opposition of allowing children to change their gender, while Radcliffe and Watson have been outspoken in their support of the trans community. It comes after the review written by leading pediatrician Dr. Hilary Cass found that teenagers in Britain have been allowed to change their gender based on remarkably weak evidence. Yeah, but we are all in the wrong when it comes to that issue. But here's the tweet she replied to that sparked this whole story. Somebody goes on to say, just waiting for Dan and Emma to give you a very public apology, safe in the knowledge that you will forgive them. Not safe, I'm afraid. Celebs who cozied up to a movement intent on eroding women's hard-won rights and who use their platforms to cheer on the transitioning of minors can save their apologies for traumatized detransitioners and vulnerable women reliant on single-sex spaces. And again, she's right, you know, I don't see any of these celebrities, any of these Harry Potter stars coming out and apologizing to the people that have been affected by this agenda, men and women. I imagine their masters over at Hollywood would have an issue with that. They've got to stay in the good books, but they're on the wrong side of history when it comes to this. And I do think in the beginning anyway, these people had a huge part to play in J.K. Rowling getting cancelled because they have a huge following. You know, there's fans out there that still follow these celebrities wherever they go. The Harry Potter fan base is huge, and when they see stars like Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, etc., coming out and standing against J.K. Rowling, it's only going to make it all the more intense. Because just imagine, instead of calling her out, they came out and stood by her. I think it would have looked a little different again in the beginning, but, you know, ever since then, J.K. Rowling has really come out firing and is standing against this agenda, which is great to see. We love to see people standing for truth, reality, common sense. But I want to hear your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on this whole story? Leave your comments down below. I'll be checking out all of them. Do you think of these Harry Potter stars? One day they never will, but if they came out and publicly apologized to J.K. Rowling, do you think she should accept their apology? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed again, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.